schmutz in it to pull this out. Do not pinch your fingers like I almost did. Otherwise, it's going to hurt really bad. Now, this will move up and down so we can raise it up and down. That's how a salesperson is going to demo this, okay? But again, that's not fitting on a truck, so we got to make it fit on a truck because Mr. Jeff reminded me that I told him I'd have it done by Wednesday, and today is Tuesday. So here we go. And you guys get to put one on. The red one there in front of the 4-post. Yeah, it's not technically. All right, boot it back up. All right, are we? It's not bad. All right. So, because of the key that we're using, it's a Winaline Light key. So if you notice, it's the same kid with gauges. I can't believe we put a kid with gauges on the front of Winaline. Very progressive for a conservative company. They only look like, there's only 4s or 6s. They're small. If you notice, it says Winaline Light. Okay, so if you guys break out that email that you got yesterday, you'll see all of the features that we remove from Winaline because someone cheesed out and bought the $16,000 version instead of the $35,000 version, right? So one of the things we do is we have these wonderful self-centering wheel clamps. How many people have used these before? Great. Show the people who have never used these before. So if you've never used them before, grab one. Somebody partner up with somebody that's never grabbed one and show these guys how to work it. Okay? No, there's no cleaning. Okay, there's no cleaning on that one. So, okay. It took us a lot longer to get to the same spot, right? That's a pain point. Where's mine? I was looking for you up here. I didn't realize you and Jaden switched spots. That's a pain point. In sales, that's called a pain point. Can you deal with getting numbers in like 5 or 10 minutes rather than 90 seconds? If you can, well then inspection Winaline Light might be in your future for you, right? Do you mind scratching the wheels? Do you mind having to use self-centering? Oh, you guys all failed. You Your fingers aren't all in the same holes. No, these are in the outsides. Those are in the insides, right? So, so that's, yeah, so there is a short finger and a long finger. Hopefully everyone is using the long fingernail, not the short fingernail. However, I'm going to actually tell you that I like that better because my arms are spread out more, right? If I'm trying to measure camber and my arms are really close to each other, I can't really get a good feel for camber, right? But if my arms are spread out a little bit more, I can be a little more sensitive to camber. So the only thing you have to worry about there is if you have a lowered vehicle, you're going to put a fantastic racing stripe on that quarter panel. And someone's probably not going to be happy because the paint job's worth more than the rest of the car. It's definitely worth more than the fart can that they threw on the back of it and cut the spring coil by 2 coils or a coil and a half because they wanted to lower the car. They're still using the factory shock strut. They just made the spring a little. They put a little spring. The spring's not as springy. So, yeah, they just cut the spring. They heat it up. Yeah. Again, it gives me more spacing. Okay.
It's not the actual adapter that we're talking about. It's where it clips into the self-centering.
Well, no, it's actually this. So where I'm measuring camber right now, I only have this much difference to measure my camber. Over there, I have that much difference to measure my camber. So that one there is a little more sensitive than it would be if it was here, right? I have the same. So again, we're not the police, right? If someone's using the outside ones, which is normally what they do because they don't never move them, then that's fine. You know, what is this? That's maybe 100th, 200ths of a degree more sensitive, not more accurate, but more sensitive. Big difference. right? The other reason why we put these on at 12 and 6 and not 9 and 3 is because if I had it here, it'd be a whole lot harder to pick up camber than it is if I'm picking up camber, right? So it's actually once again, it makes it more sensitive to pick up my camber, right? Because everyone's been through miles this class, so everyone knows that. Good morning, Martez. Everyone knows that caster is just camber at 0 degrees versus camber at 10 degrees, and we do some math and we figure out what our caster is. It's actually the difference in the change in camber as I turn the tire. So that's why having them up here is better than having them across. Okay? Again, there's no electronics at the wheel. It's just targets. Someone was saying put the biggers in the rear. Thank you. You see the 2 dots? Right, so this one here just has triangles. That one has triangles and 2 dots. Is to let you know that those are in the rear. For my 2 international wonderful friends, where are...
Oh, weird.
It's very weird. International friends, and if you are lucky enough to have a Mavis in your territory or a Meineke in your territory, these wonderful bad boys are called HQ targets for high quality. So, they are 3D printed. Yes, I have the only 2 3D printed ones in the building. So, I am special. Pro-Align internationally used 4 front targets. I have no idea how Pro-Align figured out which one was the front and which one was the rear, because they had 4 of these. When we switched to Win-Align Light has a little more brain power, so we actually can use 2 front ones and 2 rear ones that have the 2 dots in them. So we don't normally sell these domestically. Again, Mavis and Meineke, they basically try to rub 2 wooden nickels together and come out with 7 cents, so they beat us up over price. But we would rather like pull up our skirt than let Snap-on come in and beat us out of a sale, because you know Mavis has taken over everything that isn't bolted down, right? Because they're just a big conglomeration. They're run by a board of directors, and they're just buying up. Like, yeah, you ever see Breakstar? You don't see Breakstar Us anymore because Mavis took them over, right? There's a lot of places that if Mavis can buy you out, Mavis will buy you out. They're just trying to get rooftops, okay? Internationally, internationally they've been able to buy these for years. This is an actual sellable thing internationally. Again, it is a low cost alternative to a Hawkeye Elite. Maybe they don't want to scratch the rims, so they got the TD buckets, but it's still it's not a TD target. It's still a single. So you can't do quick comp. You have to do full rolling comp. But that's what this looks like. Coming to a theater near you.
So why do they make different versions of stuff for international?
Only because we got Chinese companies and Turkey and North Korean companies that are selling aligners for like $38.95. So we have to do something to lower our price point down just so that we can be somewhat competitive. Yeah. Oh yeah, they'll sell it to you. So, but this is what they look like. Again, they'll see them all the time. You guys will see them sparingly, like again in national accounts. Because again, we'd rather have something than nothing. Okay. Again, these are the blue ones. At some point, if I can find a gray one. Hey, look, a gray. Nope. Squirrel. Little bitties. Aren't they so cute? They're so cute. All right, so it's actually about an inch shorter than the blue ones, right? So that's 2 inches shorter across. Because again, if you're doing a Tata, you need a really small wheel. So these are, you can actually buy these domestically. You just have to figure out what the part number is. These are readily available internationally. Just a second. Where did I get that from? Oh, here. Yeah. Why don't I have what I'm looking for? Okay. The last thing we need to talk about just before we go to it's a little early for lunch. Um, did anyone ever use a set of these? Anyone ever seen a set of these? All right. So what this is this is a universal multi-use wheel clamp. I can do blues, I can do reds, I can do blacks. So I don't have to change out my hooks. And it's super easy to push it in. When you want to pull it out, there's a little button here that allows you to pull it out. The other cool thing it does is you can change the attack on the hook. So if you have like a lowered Camaro and the lip of the rim is actually underneath the actual fender, you can get these in here by just pulling it all the way back and getting it nice. All right. There is a so there. I don't want to say there's. It's tech. So you move this to where you want to. You lock it down and it stays locked in. You move this where you want it to and it stays locked in. Okay. Unfortunately, I have two lefts. There is a left and a right. We don't want this one being upside down. We want them all being upside right so you can see what you're doing, okay? You buy 8 of these, obviously, because there's 8 on the car. Before the galactic back order and the terrible wars of COVID, these used to be about $900 to the customer. I don't know what they are. That's actually loose. Wow. Okay. I don't know what they are today, but I know they used to be $900. Okay. Okay. If a lot of people like it because you never have to change this, and especially if you're doing a lot of lowered vehicles, because you can change the attitude of this. It's actually really nice. Okay. It's a 20 dash kit. Look up adjustable ADJ hooks. Yeah. ADJ hook, HOOK. Oh, you're cold. You're gonna steal their hooks?
Yes.
Wow. Wow. So technically, I always told, because what happens when it breaks? At least if they had a couple of the red ones, they could put a red one in there. That way they're not down, right?
You can lease it for me.
Did you find adjustable hook? No, that's not it. Just look up hook. Go to parts person. Oh, it's a perfect example. Right? It's like I've done this. So easy to sell. But COVID came along and ruined everything for everybody. So, again,
Won't let me look it up in Express. So this is a commission part.
yes, because you're looking it up as the wrong order type. You're looking it up as a parts order. If you click down on order type,
Go back to
no, right here. So you're doing a parts order. You want to do a service rep consumer, right? Service rep. Is that what you were at?
Yeah.
No, there you go. Customers. Now try it again. Stuff. We made like a halfway deal with somebody, probably Satan, to figure out how to do this so that we didn't lose market share. So, this no, this is actually for heavy duty sensors. So this wonderful thing here is about another $1,200, but they were going to throw it away, so I saved it from being thrown away and turned it into this so that I could wheel it in and out. Probably. So, This is an original V1. This one's obsoleted because this doesn't go up as high and the wheels are smaller. The newer V2s, the wheels are wider, taller, and this piece down here is a little thicker because this is a little flimsy. And by the time you throw on 4 heavy duty, it gets a little. So they were that or the XLs, right? So literally they were like, this is obsolete, we're going to throw it away. I'll take it, right? So all right, but again, it's a really nice car. It's a really cool car. If they want to, it's a cool car. It helps me out because I can just wheel stuff around, okay? And Mercedes don't like the magnet because there's some error in the magnet, and when you're German, can't have errors, can't have errors. So this one here we built for the Volkswagen Audi group because it still has the TD part, but it's because what happens in a Volkswagen? Where do you measure toe on a Volkswagen?
Here.
Yes, actually that's fairly close.
That was perfect.
So, where do you measure toe on a regular car?
Oh, it's in the back.
I'm sorry, where do you measure caster? Where do you measure caster on a regular car? What degree?
Zero.
Caster.
Oh, caster. Sorry.
How far do you turn the wheel? How far do you turn the tires to measure caster?
About 9.
10. Okay, so on a how far do you turn the target to measure caster? Right, so on a caster sweep on a regular car, it's camber at 0 and camber at 10 degrees. Okay, that's great because we're Americans and we're lazy and we're slobs. How far do we have to go for a Volkswagen Audi caster sweep? It's twice as much. You have to measure caster at 20 degrees of toe. But by the time a regular target turns to 20 degrees, it gets blocked. So Volkswagen asked us, and then they paid us, to make a bigger target so that we could do 20 degrees on toe without losing the target so that we could actually get our caster in, okay? You still sell the extenders because not after you do 20 degrees of toe, they still have something that's called toot. We're there. It's called toot just for you. It's called toe out on turns. He's my perennial 6-year-old. So Volkswagen measures toots. So it's called toe out on turns, and what they're doing is they're looking at the Ackerman angle so that when this one is all the way out, the angle, if this one's at 39.5, this tire over here also needs to be at 39.5 so it tracks through the corner. You still need the extensions for that because this isn't going to make 39 degrees, but at least it's just toe out on turns, okay? So if you do a Volkswagen Audi and any of those wonderful German people, you're going to get funny looking front ones. The rear ones are still the standard rear ones because until they make a rear turning, I'm sure they're working on it, but until they make a rear turning car, you'll just get regular adapters in the rear. Okay. Okay. I see Mr. Brent in the back, Neil and Mr. Harry. Mr. Brent would like to have a few words with you. Mr. Brent is our International Vice President of Sales. So I don't know if you met those. You might have met Neil. I don't think you met Harry.
Oh, well, no, I was saying we.
Oh yes. So he was actually director of training, and now he's the vice president of sales. I'm not allowed to say just yet.
Oh, they haven't announced it.
I haven't announced it yet. Definitely not me. I have the wrong attitude to be a director. Well, that's what they think because I didn't get the job. So.
Many different hats in the
All of them are on too tight. I didn't know I was supposed to. It's sort of like a secret ballot. Also, if Steve wants to go over and just take a picture, that cabinet is actually a dark gray, right? It's not red, it's not black, it's actually Volkswagen gray. They actually tell us what color it needs to be, and we have to match that color. It's just how it is. But Mhm. Yeah.
Those fancy suspension systems where they have like multiple links and they allow the wheels to like kind of stay centered on the hub while
Yeah, well, it turns. Yeah. And then, is it Mercedes has 2 lower ball joints now? Isn't it Did they? Uh,
Jim, the rack was gray, but the conversion stuff they sent us the front plate.
yeah,
stuff
what's
was
red? Oh, black?
Yes,
That's because, yeah. That's because we're not going to stop the line to spray paint or powder coat 4 conversion plates. So black and gray, it probably didn't look terrible. Didn't look bad. 10 years, just like we do with the last thing and everything else. So even though we're stopped selling them and Dave doesn't train on them and David doesn't train on them anymore, we still have 10 years and a month. So we're going to try to keep parts going for it. Now, these things here are very tricky on keeping parts. We have gone through so many different revisions of toe boards, and I'll explain what toe boards are after lunch. But every time we come out with a new revision of toe board, we need a new version of sensor firmware because the company that made our last toe board doesn't exist anymore. So we have to find a new company to make the toe board. And of course, their code isn't like the old code. So now we have to figure out how to make the whole entire rest of the system work with a new part that's coded kind of different. So the challenge is challenging. So only because I'm trying to get to lunch and it's 11:40 and Mr. Brent was he didn't know, he was very excited to know that you guys were in town and he genuinely wanted to meet you guys. So I'm just going to piddle paddle around for the next 5 minutes, and then we have to wait because Bosch is here. So we can't run up there at like 11:59 and get in line for the buffet. We have to let the guests go first. So it'll probably be more like 5 after or something like that. But this is just a dually adapter, right? Because if you have dual rear wheels, the outside wheel is concave, and we just have to have something for the sensor to sit against, right? If you notice, there are holes. 1 billion years ago, there was a rubber claw that when you put the top piece on, you put the rubber claw over it, and it kept it on. And then what we realized is, if I could have that sensor right there. What we realized is because it's rubber right here, when you put this thing on, turn it upside down, it just stays anyway. So we took the rubber feet out because we're doing what? Saving money. We'd have to change the mold. That's expensive, right? Because then I got to retool and I got to, So it was cheaper to leave the holes, but I can save on the rubber pieces going over it. But this is literally just a dually adapter. At some point when we go back down to HD Bay, gray hook things. Oh yeah, no, those are just those are the quick clamps. I'll let you try to put those on, and then you'll see how much you like those. Yeah, they do look cool. We also sell, and I don't think I have any up here. I don't see any over there. We also sell something called a 19.5 adapter, because the 19.5, the lug nuts are bigger than this circumference. So this won't sit right on a 19.5 wheel. So a 19.5 adapter is only about half as thick as this, but the hole is about a 1/2 inch bigger in diameter so that it goes around all the lug nuts on a 19.5. But that's a separate kit. So you can, dually adapters come standard with an aligner, but 19.5 adapters don't. That's something else you guys can sell if you have. I don't see him. I was hoping I'd see him. I was really hoping I'd see him in here. Okay. 19.5 adapters are something that you can sell. You good, sir? Can we help? I'm sorry? Yes. Can we help you find something?
Another car, maybe?
All right. He was walking fast. 19.5 adapters, that's something else you can sell. When Jesse tried to look up those cool universal adjustable hooks, it told him he was looking it up the wrong way because he was looking it up like a regular part lookup. And a regular part lookup, only you just buy a regular part. He had to look it up as a commissionable part, because when you sell those hooks, your salesperson makes 10% because it goes into their territory and it's a commissionable part. Just like the 19.5 adapters, that's what we call a commissionable part. So a long time ago, you had the choice of, did you want to hose your sales guy or did you like your sales guy? Now they don't let you hose your sales guy anymore. Now the sales guy just gets paid because I guess they whined too much that they weren't getting paid. But so sometimes when you order something, now what also that means for you is you make 5%. So how much was that? What was the distributor? Was that not list, distributor? So what was distributor? Let's just, so if it's $13.36 and you bought it for like $8 something. So let's just say distributor was $1,100. You make 5% of that $1,100 because at that point you turn into your own distributor. You are the distributor of that sale. So you sell it for the 13, right? And then you make another 5% on it because you're supposed to install it and train on it. So the 5% is, so you have to fill out what we used to call a 492T. I am not sure.
Yeah, and then you gotta go back in 30 days.
Right? But you make an extra 5% because you sold a commissionable part. Plus the markup, plus the 20, plus the, right. So you're making, there aren't a whole lot of parts you can do that too, but every once in a while, it'll be a happy little accident and you can make a little bit more money. Yeah. Yeah. So. The Lord gave me a good mind for numbers. So He gave me a bad mind for temper, but a great mind for remembering numbers. So honestly, the other thing that I used to be able to do, I'm memorized with the Lord's help. I memorized my whole entire van. I knew where every part on my van was. You just go up there and pull it out, and there it was.
How long is that going to take us? A year and a half?
Year and a half, 2 years. The other thing that gets worse is you will remember every single person that owes you money. Every single person that owes you money.
I feel like that's an easy one to remember.
Yeah. My brother called me the other day. He goes, my AR aging report was 35 grand. I'm like, it's time to send out statements. Because he's at that point, he's just floating money like a bank, right?
So Mike said in my territory, he's like, usually I got about 40 grand floating around somewhere. He's like, but he's like, it happens. He's like, I've never not been paid. So
yeah, 40 is a little tough. That's money. Yeah, then you gotta like. So what happens sometimes, if your wife doesn't work, your wife can become an employee and she becomes your accounts receiving. But what she does is she calls up. She doesn't call from your business. She has her own business name. And she's like, yeah, I'm collecting this debt for, JPT services. How would you like to pay for it, right? And then it's a whole different company at that point, right? You can get crazy. Yeah.
They're usually on the phone within an hour.
Yeah.
Like in California, you're allowed to charge 10% after your terms.
You're allowed to charge it. It's just most people will just send in the original the original statement money. And by that time, you're just happy to get paid the original statement, right? It gets to be 6 months, 8 months, and you're just happy to get what you.
We just never go back. What? We just don't go back.
You're not allowed. You're not allowed not to go back.